What if you were being watched every second of every day by millions of people across the globe, giving their input on not just how you live, your hygiene and your dirty habits, but your interpersonal relationships, your heartaches, and not to mention every single word that you say?
You said some pretty harsh things about your fellow housemates.
Shut up, go make some rice. Please, Jemima, make me some pancakes.
Yeah, Aunt Jemima.
If Howard and Candace go home because of us, do you realize how that's gonna look?
What, black on black crime?
How do you respond to that?
Well, every summer for the past 2 decades, CBS Corporation has conducted a large-scale social experiment, gathering up dozens of young adults and throwing them in a bugged house for up to 100 days, making them vote each other off week after week on national television. For years, psychologists have outcried that the show is damaging to its contestants, and that overall, locking people in a house for prize money has many severe psychological implications. This didn't stop Big Brother from franchising their show to over 60 different countries, making it one of the largest reality television franchises in the history of the human race. But with that has come some of the biggest controversies in TV history. Some of the most shocking live moments that have not only caused dozens of contestants' lives to be completely uprooted and be fired from their jobs, leaving them in ruins, but even almost left a contestant without her life, as she was stuck in a house with a dangerous criminal, making production intervene before it was too late. So join me as I look at the voyeuristic underbelly of America's favorite reality TV show. Big Brother has a way of making or breaking their contestants. Whether they became a model or were fired for saying unspeakable things, whether they went on to become a professional wrestler or were ridiculed for headbutting another house guest. Or what about being flirtatious on TV while your husband is back at home? And for the nearly 100 days they're locked in the house, shut off from the outside world, their fate will remain a mystery until they walk out to the audience to either screaming cheers as America's favorite house guests or deep baritone boos, echoing through the halls and ruining your career forever.
If you're not happy with this show, maybe you're not happy with reality-based TV in general. If you're not happy with reality-based TV, maybe you're not happy with, as the name suggests, reality.
Now, before we dive into the truly wild world of Big Brother, we want to take a moment to thank Travel Town for sponsoring this episode of Deep Dive. Now, Travel Town is a super visually appealing and fun merge game that I am absolutely obsessed with playing in my downtime. So basically, how it works is you have to tap your energy items like baskets and bags that then release various cute little items. You then merge the matching items to make a new item, and you keep merging and upgrading until you can sell that item for coins to a townsperson. Those coins can then be used to build and upgrade your massive island. If you like puzzles and building games, you will love Travel Town. I've so far made it to level 12, and I already have an adorable beachfront hotel and house on my island. So y'all, the townspeople are living good. So if you're like me and like cozy, relaxing, colorful games, then download Travel Town for free from either Google Play or the App Store. And y'all, if you use our special magic link below and download the app, Travel Town will send you in-game bonuses in 1 week. Thank you so much to Travel Town for sponsoring this video that lets us keep making deep dives that we love to make. Anyway, let's get into the unruly and often dangerous world of CBS's hit reality show, Big Brother. Now, the story of Big Brother begins during Soviet-era Russia. At the time, the Soviet Union was ruling over all of Russia and its neighboring countries. Russia at the time was referred to as the Big Brother, watching over all of its brother nations before the eventual collapse of the Soviet Union. This is where author at the time George Orwell would complete the writing of the book 1984, a book that was the inspiration and start to create the hit reality TV series Big Brother. See, during the WW2 era, George Orwell, the author of the Big Brother book, was working in media under the British government directly under Brendan Bracken. the Minister of Information. Brendan's employees all referred to him under his initials BB, the same as Big Brother. It's been speculated that George was also using Brendan Bracken as a muse for his book, as he was frustrated with Brendan's office in particular, which was manipulating information and censoring the news of the war. This all inspired George Orwell's 1940s novel titled 1984, a dystopian book that created an Uncle Sam-like character named Big Brother, who watched over a dystopian Oceania and surveilled all of its citizens 24/7 for the common good. Now, in the book, it was never revealed whether Big Brother is an actual person or entity or what. It was sort of a Bird Box situation, and that created much more mystery, thrill, and suspense. The society is successfully brainwashed into a cult of personality, loving, adoring, and serving Big Brother, even though they're also being simultaneously watched 24/7. Now, this served as the inspiration for 1999's hottest Dutch reality show, Big Brother, a show unlike the world had ever seen on their televisions. Inspired by the concept of 1984, John de Mol, the creator of Big Brother's first concept for the show, would be called The Golden Cage, a show where 6 people would be locked in a house for an entire year, and the winner would receive 1,000,000 Dutch guilders. However, this concept wouldn't make it to air until 2006. Instead, John opted for double the house guests to stay a shorter 106-day stint in a normal-ish house. Each week, viewers would be able to vote on who they wanted to evict from the house, until only one reigning champion was standing. John would make history and would title the very first series franchise Big Brother. Inspired by lifecasters like JennyCam.com and adult sites like VoyeursDorm.com, the show would even create interactive elements like 24/7 online live streams and message boards to talk with other fans of the show. This would foster the creation of a reality TV community like no other, and make Big Brother truly a show of the 21st century. Now, this caught the attention of Edelmolshine Germany, a German production network who saw the concept of Big Brother and wanted their own version, full of German contestants speaking German to be broadcast to the German public. John de Mol conceded and worked out a deal for the first ever franchised version of the Dutch reality show Big Brother. The show was a massive success across Germany, and the network RTL Z-Way immediately ordered another season. As the new millennium began, various television networks were looking to create reality competition programs where the contestants would be put through the most horrific social and physical situations imaginable. CBS had already picked up Expedition Robinson and had turned it into the smash hit Survivor. Shows like The Challenge and The Amazing Race were popping up everywhere, and with the German and Dutch success of Big Brother worldwide, it was only a matter of time before the format made its way to the United States of America. At the time, the show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was premiering multiple times a week, drawing some of the largest TV audiences in history. Networks at the time thought this may be a fluke, as reality TV had never really hit off before this, until CBS tested their version of the Swedish show Expedition Robinson and named it Survivor. Overnight, the show would become all anyone was talking about. This would cause the Scandinavian reality boom of the 21st century. Dozens of TV shows that had been successful in Northern Europe would be catapulted onto the world stage and would be franchised in the United States as their own English version. One of the main standouts, however, was the Dutch and now German smash hit Big Brother. In 2000, CBS, ABC, and another undisclosed cable network would enter a bidding war for the rights to the American version of the show, with CBS winning the war at a whopping $20 million. And with the first season of Survivor finished and a smashing success, CBS ordered the creation of season 2 of Survivor, and the first season of an all-new reality TV show titled Big Brother. First, they needed a host, and who better than Julie Chen Moonves? Then just Julie Chen, an accomplished newscaster who rose up alongside Andy Cohen. Now, Julie would climb the ranks at CBS over the course of many years, even marrying the CEO of CBS Viacom in 2003, Les Moonves. But her career climbing didn't come without severe repercussions, even opening up that early in her career, before she landed the role of host for Big Brother, that multiple big-time executives would tell her she would never get anywhere unless she had eyelid surgery, calling Julie personalityless, expressionless, and boring.
When I was 25 years old and I was working as a local news reporter in Dayton, Ohio. Now, I want to set the scene for you guys, so I want to show you footage of what a young Julie Chen looked like in 1995 in Dayton. I wanted to try and get a seat on the anchor desk, so I asked my news director, I said, holidays, anchors want to take vacations, you know, could I fill in? Like, I don't care, I'll work Christmas. And he said, you will never be on this anchor desk because you're Chinese. And I was like, and he said, let's face it, Julie, how relatable are you to our community? How big of an Asian community do we really have in Dayton? The audience can't relate to you because you're not like them. And he said, on top of that, because of your heritage, because of your Asian eyes, sometimes I've noticed when you're on camera and you're interviewing someone, you look disinterested. And all I could see was my eyes. And does he have a point? I'm like, I gotta get another job if I can. I can't work for this guy. So I start meeting with agents for career advice, so on and so forth. And this one big time agent basically told me the same thing. This big time agent had like the biggest names. Like if you open up his closet, it was like all stars. He knew what he was doing. On his own, he basically told me the same thing. He said, I cannot represent you unless you get plastic surgery to make your eyes look bigger. And I did it.
Right.
And
but how do you feel
Well,
about yourself right now?
Now it's like, I sometimes wonder. But I will say, after I had that done, everything the ball did roll for me.
Now, at the time, Julie Chen was used to covering hard-hitting news reports and didn't even think Big Brother was going to be as big as it was.
I think I was low-hanging fruit for them because I already worked for the company. And here are the basic ground rules for Big Brother. I already was anchoring the morning news at CBS, so I was in-house. And when they offered me the job, they were 1 month away from launching the show, and they didn't have a host. I'm inside one of the most sophisticated TV control rooms ever built. When I was asked to host Big Brother, I had no idea what it was. I didn't know it existed. It was something that was taking over all of the Netherlands. All I was told was, it's a reality show, and reality was a very new genre back then. Here's the dirty little secret that not everyone knows. I was offered the job, and I turned it down. And the reason I turned it down was because I had just started my big career at CBS News. I was 29 years old. I was a morning anchor, and I had visions of one day walking down the halls of 60 Minutes and sitting in front of the chair with a ticking clock, and it would be, I'm Mike Wallace, I'm Leslie Stahl, and I'd be like, I'm Julie Chen. I'm so happy to be here. The show was going to launch in like a month. And as I'm trying to wrap my brain around, like, it's a reality show, I said, hold it. I said, if I take this job, am I completely sealing the door shut to ever being on 60 Minutes? And he said, probably. I said, well, then there's my answer. That's my dream. I just got to the network. That's my dream. I don't want this job then. And he said to me, technically, we can assign you this job. And if you don't take it, it could be seen as an act of insubordination. And I said, when's the next flight to LA? I'd love to meet with the producers of Big Brother.
Saying that at the time, it pretty much felt like a one-off season of a TV show that she would one day forget about. But Big Brother was anything but that. The first season of Big Brother US would closely follow that of its Dutch counterpart and be drastically different from every other American season that premiered afterwards. 10 strangers would enter a house with no communication from the outside world, or supposedly the people filming them either. We'll get to that. They would be filmed around the clock, and every other week, all the house guests would vote for 2 people to be, quote, marked for banishment. Then the viewers at home would get to decide which of the 2 house guests they wanted to banish, all until 3 people make it to the end, and the audience votes one final time on who deserves the huge $500,000 grand prize. While this element was a highly interactive element of the show and is still seen on celebrity versions of Big Brother as well as the UK version of the show, it actually didn't bode too well with American audiences, with the first season of Big Brother receiving only a fraction of viewers that CBS had projected it would receive. When the mundane week-to-week of the first US season's contestants was broadcast to 22 million people, they didn't care as much as CBS thought they would. The interactive element definitely lost its novelty, and for many, it felt like watching paint dry. Not to mention, reportedly, a very small portion of viewers were actually voting, making the interactive element of the show almost null and void. The United States was used to shows like Survivor, which up until that point had relied on contestants voting each other out, creating much more interpersonal conflict. This caused the executive producers of Big Brother to give the show a complete overhaul for season 2. CBS had already sunk way too much money into the rights of the show and the production and the promotion of the first season. They needed to make the American franchise of the show a success. So they introduced a format, much like Survivor, each week where the contestants inside the house would vote on one of the two nominees, also nominated by the house guests, turning the public experiment into more of a fishbowl that was self-reliant on itself for drama instead of the viewers. By episode 2, CBS was looking at something much more tragic than some lost TV ratings. They were looking at one of the most dangerous situations ever played out on television, and the American public was horrified, to say the least. Season 2 of Big Brother had a much different vibe, and is notably the final season that actually allowed the house guests to have knives in the house. Yeah, we'll get into that in a bit. In summary, the cast of Season 2 were much louder and more outspoken than the first season. It was an attempt by the network to drum up drama, and it definitely worked. Well, sort of. While it definitely set the blueprint for future seasons of the show, one of the contestants named Justin Sebeck would make Big Brother history and be the first contestant removed from the show by production for breaking the rules. The first week, Justin stole his housemate's pillow, and it almost mounted into a physical altercation. Production immediately felt warning signs that something was rather off about Justin. See, they're monitoring them 24/7, as were the live viewers, and they were the ones watching the live feeds, and they began to feel it too. House guests would actually tense up when he got in a room, and he was constantly grating on everyone's nerves. But that all came to a head by episode 4. See, the episode opened up on a worried Julie Chen, explaining that one of the house guests was expelled from the house.
A major development tonight inside the Big Brother house behind me. Yesterday, producers expelled one of 12 house guests for breaking the rules. Justin, the bartender from Bayonne, New Jersey, threatened house guests with violence and physical intimidation. It was a violation of one of the most serious rules of the house. As you will soon see, Justin's threatening behavior continued, as did the concerns of his housemates for their own safety.
Showing clips of numerous house guests telling production how Justin made them feel and describing his most offensive actions against them. Then production showed every instance of his verbally threatening nature during his very limited screen time.
No, I'm going back in 15 minutes. This time I punch right in the stomach, man.
But that should do it.
Totally. And you know, she made a deal with the devil. You know what I mean?
Like, I'm to the point where I'm worried about other people, not myself. I'm worried about other people's safety.
If I do get that other one tomorrow, you know, the one that I'm gonna give the black guy to do. If I get her, bro, you will guarantee you'll hear her scream, because I'm gonna do a doggy style, and I'm gonna give her such a kidney shot.
I definitely feel that he was threatening, and he could have caused bodily injury to me or somebody else in here.
Second time.
Like a man, put your hands up, so I'm gonna knock the out of you, bro.
It's the second time.
First time I ever killed him.
I understand that physical violence or, intimidation is not part of this game, and it won't be tolerated, and therefore, I will not be a part of anything that's related to physical violence or intimidation. I apologize for maybe getting close to crossing the line. So from this point on, you have no worries about that ever again.
I had to convince him twice not to smash a damn wine bottle on the basketball court.
The fear is that somebody in there is going to get popped.
And it was disturbing to say the least. When panning to Justin in the confessional, viewers were treated to an expressionless and undeterred individual who seemingly had no remorse for his actions.
Whenever I get caught in here, it's always a matter of like me getting like thrown off the show. It's like, Justin, you know, you can't beat nobody up, or Justin, you know, you can't like sexually force yourself on somebody, or like Justin, you know, you can't like intimidate nobody.
Yeah, y'all, he was saying this in the confessional, that was a problem that they were telling him that. However, this all still wasn't the breaking point for Big Brother producers. That came when a highly intoxicated Krista Stagel caught the attention of Justin's eye. She began flirting with him and they started kissing, but then they stopped and Justin did a fake out swing at her head.
The final straw for the producers was the incident Tuesday night in the kitchen.
Hey, Mom, I don't like O.
Whatever, dude. I ain't got no time for you.
Come your mama.
Stay right there. Stay right there.
All right.
Would you get mad if I cracked you over the head with this?
Your mama would, though.
Now, production still didn't step in. That is until Justin took a knife to Krista's throat and asked her, would you get mad if I unalived you?
Would you get mad if I killed you?
At this point, Justin picked up a large kitchen knife and repeated to an intoxicated Krista, seriously, would you get mad if I killed you? He put the knife to Krista's throat as they kissed. He then took the knife away momentarily. With Krista's encouragement, he put the knife back to her neck. They kissed again, and then he returned the knife to its drawer.
Justin, please go to the diary room.
Oh, boy. We got problems. We got problems. I think it might have been that knife to your neck.
After a lengthy consultation with the show's psychologist, producers were left with no choice but to expel Justin to protect the safety of the house guests.
And y'all, after all of this, his exit interview with Julie Chen still did not help his case.
Jokingly, there's no way he could even blow that. There's no way he could even see that as a threat. I go, would you get mad if I killed you? Smiling at her. She's smiling, and she goes, go for it. And then I go put her, we're laughing, we kissed again, and I put the knife away. Now, if there's anyone that could perceive that as an act of violence or as a threat, then you're an idiot, right? Then I don't know what the hell you're watching, and I don't know what kind of glasses you're looking through.
Can you see how someone from the outside would be worried about your state of mind as you're holding a knife to someone's throat, asking, would you be mad if I killed you?
Again.
Can you see?
I cannot. I cannot even fathom if somebody's watching me kiss a girl, and I'm speaking in jokingly terms, smiling, while she's laughing, and put a knife and said, would you get mad if I killed you? First of all, if she felt threatened, if anybody even thought that she felt threatened I was going to do anything, I don't think she would have said, go for it, laughed, and kissed me.
Did you threaten violence against anyone in the house?
I didn't threaten nothing against anybody in the house. I got in people's head in the house. My strategy was confusion.
When you got into Kent's face, you were called to the diary room because that was a threat of violence, correct?
I wouldn't call it a threat. That was just intimidating somebody. That was just...
Did you ask him to get up and fight?
I said, if you're going to call me a liar and say I did something that I didn't do, then get up and put your hands up.
Are you telling me that you don't understand why you got expelled from the Big Brother house?
Absolutely.
You think you deserve to be in the house right now?
Absolutely.
Immediately, people began calling this incident a staged publicity stunt, as it seemed too incredulous to actually happen in real life. However, CBS would wish this was staged, as when it all started becoming real to the public, information about Justin Sebek would come out that would change everything. According to an ABC News report on July 16th, 2001, Justin had been arrested 5 times prior for assault and theft, but was never charged. This should have come up on a background report. However, the network told the AP that CBS hired a private investigator who checked with Bayonne Court before the show went on the air and was told that Sebek had no arrest record. CBS spokesperson Gil Schwartz defended the network, calling the background check professional and saying that, quote, we have full confidence in the process. And several critics actually began calling for the cancellation of Big Brother, stating that the show was too dangerous and a bad idea. Bad press was flowing for the show, and the ratings didn't get that much of a bump from the drama. And on top of all of that, they had a huge liability play out on national television. So where was Krista during all of this? As the survivor of the knife incident, she would state in her exit interview that when Julie asked her about this incident, she had no recollection of what she was talking about because, quote, "we were basically joking around. The producers blew that completely out of proportion. Justin is just a fun guy. I really don't have the memory of the knife. Maybe my eyes were closed at the time, but I never viewed him as a threat. So it wasn't part of my strategy. I just didn't remember it. I really didn't take it seriously." However, this was before Krista was aware of his arrest record. Krista trusted that Big Brother would take care of her and actually screen the contestants properly. She would actually sue the network for negligence, as well as not treating her psychologically after the show. While the outcome of this lawsuit was never publicly made clear, Krista said in an interview years later that her and CBS were, quote, "fine," and that she was even at a taping of the first season of Big Brother All-Stars. Justin, however, would get arrested in 2002 for assault, and then again in 2003 for online fraud. Neither of the two are in the spotlight anymore, and while Big Brother and its network likely would like to forget about the incident ever occurring, there were multiple long-standing changes made to the show that resulted from this incident. Way more background checks and safety measures went into the actual show, and no knives would be allowed in the kitchen from any season moving forward. Alcohol would also reportedly be more limited, which I guess is true, but they still give them quite a bit in the current seasons. They must have been giving them a lot in those first seasons though, oh my goodness. Anyway, the knife incident would go on to be one of the most infamous moments in Big Brother history. However, at the time of season 2, the show was still in its infancy, but was finding its footing. And even with the calls to end the show, Big Brother would renew for another season, and another, and another. Season after season, house guest after house guest would face eviction, and the show would blow up, gathering more reoccurring viewers than seemingly any other reality TV show at the time. It quickly became two types of viewers, ones that casually tuned in to the ridiculous 3 to 4 episodes per week, or the live feed viewers, who yes, tuned into the show, but were also monitoring the 24/7 live feeds and message boards. Many of the live feed viewers who also watched the show became increasingly certain that the show was being edited entirely differently from the way things were appearing online on the 24/7 online feeds. This was an immediate PR nightmare for Big Brother, and since the internet wasn't as modern as it is today, there was a much smaller online community of people. CBS didn't even really need to worry about what they saw. However, the early fans saw it all, and it all came to a head in season 8, when multiple viewers of the live feeds relayed to the FCC that they didn't believe that Big Brother's production team was following the laws and guidelines put in place by the FCC to govern a game show or contest. For years, stories of manipulation in the diary room have plagued Big Brother. Like I said, it all came to a head in season 8 with Evil Dick's Reign of Terror. Now, I don't use this term lightly. This season gets downright uncomfortable to watch at times because of the rivals twist. See, Big Brother often introduces a new twist for each season. This year, multiple people had to compete with the people they hated the most in life. And unfortunately for Danielle, it was her estranged father, Richard, otherwise known as Evil Dick. Now, love him or hate him, Evil Dick is a character, and he's somewhat in with celebrities. The entire show, castmates got on him for dropping names of celebrities, and a lot of them felt like his stories were fabricated. However, when the network actually visited the bar that Evil Dick worked at for the segment of the show, like where they show their home life and their family and their friends, Dizzy Reed from Guns N' Roses said Evil Dick doesn't name drop. People drop his name. And his name would be the name on everyone's lips for weeks and weeks and weeks. And honestly, all decades and decades. That's just what it is. He is one of the most notorious villains in reality TV show history. His behavior on the show was deemed by many as deplorable and actually summoned up an influx in complaints to the FCC over Big Brother's fairness. The complaints pictured on Governmantic.org show some of the earliest instances of the show's production being called directly into question. One viewer writing, "CBS has chosen to sell and air the live feed of the reality show Big Brother. Those who watch those feeds know that CBS is rigging the game. The house guests have stated it on the live feeds. I believe this to be a violation of Title 47, Chapter 5, Subchapter 5, 509, Prohibited Practices in Contests. There are also allegations that the reason CBS is rigging the outcome of the game in order to profit through increased advertising sales and increased revenue from the text messages they charge viewers to use in order to vote on the game. CBS has billed this as a game show and reality TV. There are legal standards to which they must adhere. I and many viewers believe CBS has crossed the line. Another viewer would write, one contestant has had drinks dumped on her head, even though there's a no violent acts rule. Now, the next complaint directly calls Evil Dick into question, and I did some digging of my own and found out what actually happened. The complaint writes, CBS is allowing one of the contestants to abuse others in a way that makes this and many other viewers uncomfortable. The player is known as Dick. Evidence of this discomfort can be found on the CBS website message boards for the show. I have been a regular watcher of the show for several seasons and consider this season a desperate attempt by CBS to prop up the show. Rule changes are one thing, but attempting to influence the outcome of your own show is another. Dick was a character, and Big Brother knew if they wanted good ratings, he needed to stay. They would vote to keep him week after week, but the main breaking point was Dustin's eviction. There was a twist that let America vote, and they chose to make Eric campaign that week for Dick to stay, and to flip the entire house to vote for Dustin to leave. If Eric did so, he would receive a cash prize. Well, spoiler alert, the vote was flipped in favor of keeping Evil Dick, and Dustin was yet another victim of America's vote. And like you saw, it wasn't just BB-8's production that was causing uproar. Dick's behavior on the show caused massive upheaval. Petitions from various women's rights organizations popped up labeling Dick as a sexist, and many called for the show to be canceled yet again, this time for being rigged. However, the network powered through, and Evil Dick has gone on to be named one of the greatest reality TV villains of all time, as he even, spoiler alert, ended up winning the show. Many players went on to copy his game moves and intimidation tactics, but clearly there will only ever be one Evil Dick, and the network knew this too. They brought him and his daughter Danielle back for season 13, but Dick had to leave due to health complications. Speaking of season 13, spoilers incoming, that was another controversial season packed full of Big Brother veterans, most notably the winner, Rachel Riley, who even allegedly admitted on the live feeds that production called the 6 returning contestants before the show began and promised them that they would make it to the halfway point, thus being able to be on the jury of who decides the winner. Now, why was she admitting this on the live feeds? Because her partner Brendan and her were on the block together, and it was before the point in the competition where the jury actually begins. Thus, they were ticked off, feeling like the network broke their promises to them. Now, I was unable to verify this as it's deep in the season 13 Big Brother feeds. However, this isn't the only time a production secret has slipped on the live feeds of the show. Speaking of promises, I tried to make this go in season order, but I do need to take it back to season 11 for the infamous coup d'etat twist. The entire season, Jeff Schroeder was beloved by America, as he met the love of his life, Jordan, on the show. Midway through the season, a house guest named Shima had an alliance made up of half the house that excluded Jeff. Big Brother put out a twist that required America to vote on who their favorite player was, which at the time was clearly Jeff. However, this was highly controversial, as viewers of the live feeds felt as though Jeff and Jordan were receiving great edits on the TV show, but were socially unaware and being played by the entire house on the live feeds. Well, anyway, America voted and Jeff received the power of the coup d'etat, which let him replace one or both of the nominations that week at the eviction ceremony, which, keep in mind, is one of the most powerful twists ever given out. Like, I don't think I can ever recall them giving a player the power to replace both nominees and name the replacements themselves, besides in 2006 when they used the same power. So this is the most powerful twist in the history of Big Brother, and Jeff chose to take down Shima's nominations and replace both of them. Jeff chose to target the beloved returning Big Brother veteran Jesse Goddard, and at the time, Jesse actually had the majority of the house on his side. side. But the house saw their in to get out a powerful veteran player like Jesse, and the twist sent Jesse out the door for a second wrongful eviction, making him arguably the most unlucky player in Big Brother history. The coup d'etat was retired after season 11, but the tomfoolery on Big Brother would continue. Through the years, the show would balance true reality and human interactions with some less than natural storylines that kept the story interesting. But as the seasons progressed, production's hands in the game became pretty much inescapable, and one cast would cause more problems for the network than ever before, and would even cause for a disclaimer to have to be put before every single episode, before the live feeds. And it would all end in a fiery eviction interview that no one was expecting. Season 15 of Big Brother, much like season 2 and 8, marks a huge shift for the show. To set the scene, it was 2013, and the house guests were seemingly more outrageous than ever before. And to be honest, ever would be. This season showed production their hard limits, and what happens when entertainment crosses over into severe bullying and abuse on national television. First of all, like the previous seasons we've spoken about, season 15 was alleged to also have been rigged. This time allegedly by the executive producer of the show, Allison Grodner. According to Uproxx, an ex-Big Brother production team member who had been fired took to the Big Brother Facebook page under the alias Haley Jones, and this is what she had to reveal. Having worked on CBS for years and having been part of the BB production crew, I have some inside knowledge I want to share. I, until recently, was involved in the selection process of the BB 2013 season's house guests. Let me fill you in on who is going to win this season. It has already been predetermined. Amanda Zuckerman will be the Big Brother winner, and in the near future, you will see how upcoming twists will work in her favor, especially if she gets in a situation where she's close to being evicted. In case any of you are thinking that I am wrong and that Alyssa Slater will win because she has been pre-chosen by CBS, you are half right. Alyssa was pre-chosen by BB production crew, but not for winning $500,000. Alyssa was chosen to be a distraction as to the true person who has been pre-chosen to the winner of BB15, and that is Amanda. Amanda is and has been friends with Allison Grodner for the past few years and will win BB. I have some evidence that backs this up and will be anonymously posting it on the day before the finale airs. Now, this would never be posted, and remember, Alyssa, who she's referring to in this post, was actually the sister to the reigning queen of Big Brother, Rachel Riley, who had already won the show.
Flurries, you better grab a life vest, Kristen. I think that we're smart enough to not do it around you. Why? Because you're so smart, Kristen. Yeah, I have a fashion degree.
Like my honey's blue. And Amanda was ironically Alyssa's main adversary. Now, this was one of the first seasons I actually watched, and I don't know if it's because it's deep dive and we love a good surge, but Amanda making fun of Alyssa actually made an impact on me as a child. That's what I really remember from that season.
Alyssa is making an attempt to push my buttons, making me feel as though she threw the competition to me. And not only did I win, I kicked your ass. Little bitchy Alyssa, you don't have Helen, you don't have anybody anymore, so keep your grimace smile because it was a waste of an HOH. You wasted your HOH. How does it feel? Rachel's gonna feel so proud of you. You and Brental Army.
I made one little joke about throwing the competition and she loses her mind. What a surprise.
What does Zingbot and Alyssa both have in common? They're both made of plastic. Zing! Alyssa, stop hiding! Don't hide up in your HOH room. You only have a couple of days left. Then you're gonna have to be down here with the rest of us scum. No one can save you now. Come on down, princess. It's the Alyssa Show. We all want to see Alyssa and her big plumped up collagen-injected lips, her Botox-intense forehead, her fake ass extension hair. All you got is your body and your face, and you got nothing else. There's nothing else in there. You ain't got Helen. No, you ain't got Candace. No, you ain't got Jesse. No, who do you have? No one.
Is this for real?
I'm going to torture you every single day until you leave this house. Every single day.
The bullying going on in the house, like it was inescapable.
Don't lock yourself alone in your big old HOH room by yourself.
I don't like bullies, and I'm definitely not going to tolerate it.
Like my honey's blue. Anyway, season 15 was unfortunately known far past its potential rigging. it was also known for its bigotry. Yes, season 15 had multiple full-on battles in the house, where house guests would not only resort to low blows about physical appearance, but would also target minority players and make fun of them for their identity. The most infamous Big Brother house guest, Aaron Grease, was the main culprit. First of all, Aaron was going to be on reality TV regardless. As in an interview with Laura Trump, Aaron actually explained how she was cast in the final rounds of The Real World at the same time she landed Big Brother. But ultimately, she chose Big Brother and shockingly still doesn't regret it. And when I say shockingly, I mean it. The comments a 22-year-old Aaron Grease would go on to make on Big Brother would be absolutely appalling.
These people are all interchangeable. Candace, Monet, Libra, they all have the same personality.
To my surprise, my bed is flipped upside down and all the pillows are on the floor and my clothes are just everywhere.
I know somebody got one more time to flip my bed and it's gonna be all hell in this house.
What you gonna do, girl? What you gonna do?
Do something. Do it right now. I'm not making fun of myself. Please
Well then don't talk. And first of all, I wouldn't get in your bed anyway with all them crap.
I'm happy you flipped it.
Are you?
Flip it again.
What else?
Hello.
What's up, Howard? Flip this bed again and see what's gonna. I came in here and they flipped the mattress and threw all the pillows on the floor. So do it again, Aaron.
What you gonna do, girl? What you gonna do, class girl? Where's your class?
Okay, Howard's not gonna back you up at all. Howard's a man. He's not gonna fight with girls.
I never asked him to fight with girls.
So you don't need him to protect you. She's talking a story.
Candace.
Why he's not here?
What do you want to say?
Candace,
What do you
no
want
one
to
in
say?
this house
I'm
is
not
gonna
gonna
fight
fight
you.
What you gonna say? What you gonna say? You want the black to come up? What you gonna say? What you gonna say? I don't need him to protect me.
Do you realize everybody is keeping you here for a target? Everybody threw you underneath the bus. Oh God, oh my God.
What a joke.
They flipped our bed upside down. Tell me what I'm supposed to do.
I just ignore them. Let them have it. Only person I honestly have to defend is you and him. Because I fit in the same minority y'all are.
We have had racist remarks said to us. I have been called Shaniqua. They flipped my bed over, start talking ghetto talk to me, and I am supposed to go and hide and sleep in another room.
You're not hiding. We take this route, it's gonna be better for us, I promise you. And all she wants to do is to stand up for what's right. Unfortunately, we're not playing a game where you can do that.
And Candace and Howard
They're
on the
German.
block, and I'm the racist.
I'll get over it. No one thinks that. Everyone sees the truth.
Hey, Aunt Jemima, make me some pancakes.
Yeah, Aunt Jemima.
If Howard and Candace go home because of us, do you realize how that's gonna look?
What, black on black crime? Makes racist remarks too.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, that bothers me. Does she not know we're on TV and you shouldn't say stuff like that?
I've heard Aaron say some derogatory comments toward a couple people in the house in certain situations. Granted, it does affect me indirectly, but it's not directed toward me.
You should have seen her face at Vito. She looked like someone just killed her chihuahua. Dude, shut up. Go make some rice.
Yo, that's rude. That is rude.
I look probably like a squinty Asian right now. No one's gonna vote for whoever that queer puts up.
I think Candace is already on the dark side because she's already dark, so.
Be careful what you say in the dark. Might not be able to see the bitch.
Even when these comments are made in fun, they still hurt and are disrespectful, especially when that person isn't there to hear it and back themselves up.
I don't know what the hell that is.
Probably dried rice. It looks like it.
Bye, right. You want a crystal ball on your nail? Make you shine like the star in the sky. You look so pretty.
It could privy me to lose my temper, but that is a no-no in this game. I have to keep my eyes down the field for the bigger prize, winning this competition.
You say you want long nail. I try and help you.
Now, remember Amanda Zuckerman, the one that fans allegedly thought that ex-production team member was saying was friends with the executive producer of Big Brother and slated to win no matter what? Well, first of all, she didn't win, probably because that information leaked and made the news. Second of all, she actually was the one to tell Aaron that her comments and actions against Candace were racist. Now, was this actually what Amanda thought, or was she, like that Facebook post was alleging, just a production plant? We might never know, but this is what she had to say to Aaron.
The insensitive remarks made by a few of the house guests have stirred up a controversy online and have made national headlines. And while these people have no idea how it has already affected their lives outside the house, it's now affecting their lives inside the house.
I think that you're joking every time like any sort of like racial thing comes out of your mouth, but I think the people who are a different race are taking it like offensively, like Howard, Candace, and Helen. So I would say like from now on, be mindful.
What's the most obnoxious, annoying thing I've ever heard?
All I'm telling you is that people are hypersensitive, so I wanted you to be aware of that.
I'm not even gonna acknowledge it because it's the biggest joke.
Just from a friend to a friend, just be more mindful of it, because for some reason it's not being interpreted as a joke.
Anyway, I appreciate you telling me that, but I really just think that is the most immature thing ever. They call me Barbie and all sorts of about me being blonde all the time, so what's the difference? I wish that I cared more about this, but I don't.
This caused Erin to apologize to Candace, and she actually accepted the apology. However, in the diary room, she later admitted that she didn't believe Erin's apology was sincere in the slightest. This entire interaction was such big news, Julie Chen, who's normally very neutral on the show, confronted the issue on her CBS talk show, The Talk.
So Julie, what the hell is going on in the Big Brother house?
I'll tell you what the hell's going on in my head right now. First of all, my heart is pounding. Am I the only one who feels so enraged?
I'm so stressed.
I'm like shaking. I mean, and that's the third time I've watched that clip, and it does not get any easier.
I really dislike that person.
I think it shows us all that in 2013, race is still a deeply personal issue. It is so extremely hurtful. And unless you have ever been on the receiving end of it, you simply do not know what it's like to walk a mile in someone's shoes that has been. And Erin, in my opinion, has no clue what it's like to be on the receiving end. I think she's ignorant. I think she's young. I think she's immature. I hope she watches that and is as appalled as we all are.
Do you think she will be?
I don't know.
But, you know, she's already lost her job and her agency outside the house. She doesn't know what's happening out here.
Now, when a 22-year-old Erin was evicted from the house, she was expecting thunderous applause, as she was one of the best competitors Big Brother had ever seen. She won more competitions than nearly any other house guests before her. However, she was instead greeted with deep baritone boos, as the audience had seen the comments she'd made and the severe bullying she participated in, with the isolation of Candace and Howard from the rest of the house, and the relentless bullying of Helen.
Please have a seat, put your bag down. We have a lot to talk about, including the mixed reception you just got. But first, let's talk about game. It was a 5-0 vote.
Yes.
Julie Chen then proceeded to confront Erin on all the awful comments she had made, in one of the most uncomfortable displays Big Brother has ever seen.
In the early days of this game, you said some pretty harsh things about your fellow housemates. Amanda even tried to warn you, give you heads up that some of your words others were interpreting as being racist. How do you respond to that?
Being Southern, it's a stereotype, and I have said some things that have been taken completely out of context and wrong, and I do not mean to ever come off racist. That's not me, and I apologize to anyone that I've offended for that.
We want to point out everyone in the house went in knowing that everything they say, everything they do gets broadcast live on the internet. So when you say the intention was not to hurt anyone, let me just read back a few of the things you said. Referring to Candace, you said, "Be careful what you say in the dark. Might not be able to see the bitch." Referring to Helen, you said, "Shut up, go make some rice." And referring to Andy, you said, "No one's going to vote for whoever that queer puts up." Can you see how those things can be interpreted as racist and as homophobic?
I do. I do not remember saying those things, and those things were not meant to be. That was not meant to be serious. And if I said those things, I feel horrible for that, and I regret that. I don't even know what else to say about that, but I'm not.
Being locked away for 70 days from friends and family outside world, do you think playing Big Brother has taught you anything about yourself? Or taught you anything?
I definitely do. It's taught me a lot about people and life and just life in general. I mean, I feel like a completely different person leaving the house, and I love everyone in there. And honestly, Andy and I are great friends. Candace and I are great friends. I love Helen more than anything, and that hurts me that that I would say something like that.
Aaron, I have nothing to say to you except have fun in the jury house or don't.
Like my hunt is blue. Any final thoughts? No, I honestly, I feel horrible. I feel like in Texas, like, we say things that are, sometimes we joke and we don't mean it, and I really feel bad that this is how it's being seen.
You know, you're in a unique spot because when this is all over, you're gonna get to go home and watch a whole lot of footage of yourself living for 70 days. After you watch all this footage, I hope and I think you might have a new perspective on things. Thanks.
Now, directly after her eviction, Erin joins the jury house and apologized to Helen and Candace for the comments that she had made.
Glad to see you.
I know. Okay.
Who knocked you out?
Who was HOH? Yeah, Alyssa.
Like my hunt is blue. Erin being in the jury with me is honestly like a dream come true. That means she can't be the winner. So I'm gonna trace it back to the days when she flipped my mattress, and I'm happy she flipped her way right into the jury house.
I just want to say I said some very insensitive and ignorant things this summer, and I just want to apologize to both of you for that. Coming into the jury house, I wanted to try and make amends with the girls, and I wanted to apologize to them for some things that I said that are inexcusable and not who I am at all. The game gets really stressful, and I feel really bad about some things that I've said and done, and I hope that you can get to know me outside of the game and we can start a new relationship.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers to mine.
Jury is a
Thanks,
great
cheers.
place to do that.
You guys.
But that was only the beginning. See, like I was explaining earlier, halfway through the season is when the jury begins. This is a collection of evicted house guests that will decide on who gets to win the grand prize. During this time, the members of the jury are still sequestered just like they are in the Big Brother house, and receive additional counseling and media training. So still, no peeks from the outside world and no phone calls home. That way they can only vote on what they saw in the game, not based on the TV show. Now, remember, Erin had only heard the boos. She still hadn't seen the numerous headlines completely dragging the show Big Brother in her name because of the comments that she had made. But all of this would change on finale night, when Erin was finally out of sequester and allowed to give interviews to the media for the first time. And they were uncomfortable to say the least. For instance, it came out that Erin's modeling agency had dropped her from their label. And since she was still in the jury house, she had no clue that she had lost her job until an interviewer confronted her, and she still didn't believe him.
When you found out that you lost your job, what went through your mind about that?
Lost my job?
You haven't heard about that? Okay.
No,
so,
I haven't lost any jobs.
Okay.
I
okay.
haven't.
Did you talk to your agency?
No, but I don't think that I lost my job.
Okay, the agency came out and said they dropped you.
What agency was that?
I'm just saying the agency.
I don't necessarily know if I believe that.
Okay, all right. Now, me being half black and Asian, watching the show, and you made fun of both, it kind of angered me.
I'm sorry that I had offended you, and anyone else that I offended was ignorant and sensitive, and I'm learning from it.
Now, in more recent years, Erin has made the move to YouTube and is making family vlog videos with her husband, even starting a brand and making lots of lifestyle content. She also appears on lots of ultra right-wing media, as it seems she's still continuing down the path that she was over 10 years ago at this point. Season 15's winner would be the first gay contestant ever to win Big Brother, but winning the show wouldn't save him, as he, along with Gina Marie Zimmerman, Spencer Clausen, and of course Erin, lost their jobs as a result of the comments they made on the show. Now, Andy Herron, the winner of season 15, would be very outspoken after the show ended, saying in a now deleted tweet, quote, "Just thinking about how all the non-racist people on my Big Brother season still had to endure relentless internet hate and fight to keep our jobs when we didn't cast the season, and how casting didn't get in trouble at all. What stupid bullshit that all was." However, Danielle from Big Brother 3 called him out, quote tweeting saying, "The problem is that you didn't speak up. You elected to be quiet when it was blatant in your face. For your game, you remained silent. Here you are screaming justice and equal opportunity. Why now? Is it because you weren't invited to play All Stars? Make me understand." Andy replied saying, "I will forever regret not speaking up more. I've said that repeatedly. My issue is with the anger of fans being put on me and my fellow house guests for not speaking up when we should have never even been put in that situation. Production and casting were the problem, not us. And Danielle replied saying, "We are placed in situations in the real world every day. It takes courage to fight for what is right. Stop blaming production for human behavior when you had the opportunity to make a difference. You are not the victim. Own it and stop." So, season 15 of Big Brother was so controversial at the time of its airing that they actually began putting disclaimers before the episodes that read, "Big Brother is a reality show about a group of people who have no privacy 24/7. At times, the house guests may reveal prejudices and other beliefs that CBS does not condone. Views or opinions expressed by a house guest are those of the individual speaking and do not represent the views or opinions of CBS. Viewer discretion is advised." Now, while this would only appear on the TV show for season 15, Big Brother would keep this disclaimer on all live feeds. Even today, if you go to Paramount Plus to watch the live feeds, you will be greeted with the original Aaron Gree's Big Brother warning message. Now, season 16 would represent a complete overhaul and redesign of the show, changing several interfaces and the way the game was set up entirely, starting with the casting of pop superstar Ariana Grande's brother, Frankie Grande. Now, this was only 2014, so Ariana was still just coming off of Sam and Cat and was performing at awards shows, drumming up hype for her second album. She was famous, but with a certain age group, not the target age demographic of the Big Brother contestants or their viewers, at least at that point. So no one on the show actually recognized him the entire season until he revealed himself. And then all but one house guest still didn't really recognize him. But y'all, this was an amazing cast and definitely showed Big Brother's commitment to giving the show an overhaul, as a lot of viewers started watching at season 16. I remember I had never heard of the show before, and I was listening to Grace Helbig's podcast Not Too Deep, and Frankie Grande was on, and he was talking about being on the show and how crazy it was, so I went on and watched, and it is still my favorite season I have ever seen. However, viewers of the live feeds again said the show was being edited in Frankie's favor, and they weren't airing his real personality.
So wait, we have 10 beers, 2 bottles of wine.
It calls for a good night.
Well, how many of us are drinking?
Huh?
How many of us are drinking?
Definitely you and Caleb.
Me and you and Victoria.
That's it.
Wow.
Please don't make love to Victoria tonight. You know, she's very feisty. You're gonna be drunk.
Dude, I don't
No, I
have
think
beer.
we should double team her. We would ruin her. Take her. There would be blood all over the place. I think you should take all of her virginities in one night.
Oh no, that is so foul. Her father right now is that is so fucking
literally cringing.
Since Aaron had been booed at the live show the previous season, the audience was ready to boo, and the only house guest to be booed on season 16 was Christine, as in her introduction, it showed her with her loving husband.
I'm Tim, and I'm Christine's husband. Christine and I have been married for almost 2.5 years now, but we've been friends since we were 12. Me and Christine's family are both very Christian, and we're very invested in the Bible.
Christine is always playing with his hair.
Like, that's so weird.
They're always touching each other.
But throughout the entire show, Christine was very intimate with Cody Calafiore.
My last girlfriend, I remember, she was like a crazy good kisser.
Good for you.
I showed her some of my moves.
Christine is always playing with his hair.
Like, that's so weird.
If I'm gonna play with a wife's hair, it's gonna be my wife, right?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense. They're always touching each other.
Christine, do you have a staring problem or something?
You're such a bottom. I mean, you know that. You're mean.
Cody and Christine's relationship is very interesting. We all know Christine is married and Cody will flirt with anything that has a pulse. So it is a little strange that they are constantly flirting with each other. It is slightly bizarre, though. Not gonna lie.
How do you feel?
Good, I guess. I feel good. This week is just gonna be really hard. You're a new seeker!
I've never in my life seen married women play with young boys' hair and touch and hold hands. You know, I ain't saying nothing. I'm just saying it's a little surprising to me.
Jude, this knot right here? Is that a knot?
You don't even cheer for me anymore. You're more of like the, it's so hot over here.
Hold on, I got your back. You straight up look like a koala bear.
You're the mama koala, I'm the baby one.
Mama baby. I love Cody as a person. He is awesome. But if I have to get a little flirtatious in order to go further, that's what I have to do. My husband, I love you so much. I'm not doing anything stupid. I'm literally just trying to win us $500,000.
There are things that I would personally change. The hair pettings, whatever. The arm ticklings, whatever. I think it's the hand holding that I'm like, latch from each other real quick.
What?
Christine's relationship with Cody, I do think is a little odd. Personally, I do think a couple of boundaries have been crossed.
I was gonna read my Bible up here.
Get over here. I am a stud right now.
Cody is a very good-looking guy, but I am also a fairly attractive fella.
Oh.
You're such a weirdo.
Oh, this is so right.
This is so right.
I do not like Christine flirting with Cody at all. I'm not happy. I think she's getting too close and she's married and it's not right. I feel like I raised her different.
I love you, Cody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Half of me wants her to win and half of me kind of wants her out, away from Cody.
So did you guys discuss this kind of thing, a strategy, before she went in?
Sort of. I mentioned to her that she can do whatever she needs to do to win. At the same time, both of them could throw a little bit of respect my way. They don't have to be doing that for strategy.
I'm sorry, Tim. I hate to lay here with her because it's not right. I love you.
I'm not liking what I'm seeing there. I understand it's a game.
Hi.
But it's just uncomfortable as a father to watch.
Now, when she exited the house, she received loud boos that the house guests inside were shocked by.
Christine, you are evicted from the Big Brother house. You got super close with Cody this summer. He voted against you. It seems like you two come from completely different worlds. What was it about Cody that attracted you to him?
Well, we were just great friends. He had a hilarious personality. I thought he was really funny. And so we became good friends.
Honestly, I think that the world probably saw your relationship as looking very bad on her part.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very bad. And I do not think that anyone faults you for what you were doing. You're playing a game for $500,000. It's a little different when you're married. You know what I'm saying? And you didn't have sex with her. Did you?
No.
Okay, good. In my opinion, she did not look at you as a friend.
She didn't.
She looked at you with love
She literally,
in her eyes.
She literally wouldn't let you out of her sight for 1 minute.
I think it's possible that she was in love with you.
She liked you a lot.
I wouldn't say that for any.
I wouldn't say in love with you, but do I think she really liked you? Yes.
For me, when Frankie says this, I think it's complete disrespect to Christine because she's not sitting here and that stuff gets outside of the house. I don't see that. I never saw Christine and I's relationship in any way like that.
For me, I didn't act like crazy different with her. I wasn't jumping on top of her.
I think I'm with him. She looked at you a little bit more as a friend.
More than a friend.
More than, yeah.
I know how to be very flirty and very friendly. So, for me, if the booze had anything to do with me, that was part of my game.
All right, we'll see when I walk out if I get booed.
Now, after her less than savory edit, Christine would actually reveal a lot of production secrets from the set of Big Brother, saying on Twitter, quote, "My diary room sessions were 100% production written by around week 5. I was getting so frustrated with them making me say stuff I didn't believe in, or not how it happened, that production ended up calling me Krabby Christine. Like they made me say sentences verbatim. If I got one word off, I had to start over. I would get pissed off, obviously, and not be as nice. I would be in there for hours at a time." And that was sort of the start of the current day controversy of Big Brother. From season 19's Paul running the house and losing to Josh, to some of the more recent villains like Kyle, or even worse, Cody. Clearly, Big Brother has a massive casting problem. While they get some right, like Jason, Davon, or the Twin Twist, when you take people who've never been around each other and put them in the pressure cooker that is reality TV, it seems time and time again to produce the same result. All these scandals over the course of 2 decades changed the world of Big Brother and reality television forever. Some of them even had an effect on the overall rules of the game. But one thing is for certain, the network behind Big Brother has had many oversights over the years, letting players fall victim to dangerous members of the house who still somehow pass the psych test, allowing house guests to be bullied and terrorized on national television for an entire summer, or if it's just the theory that they pick the winner of the season before it even begins. One thing's for sure, in the Big Brother house, you always have to expect the unexpected. My name is Jake, and this has been Chaotic Web. But before I go, I just want to thank Courtney Pope for becoming the first ever member of our YouTube channel. If you want to become a member, be sure to look below, and you'll have your name at the end of the video just like Courtney. Be sure to use our magic link below to try my favorite new merge game, Travel Town. And I will see y'all later. Bye!
Like my hand is blue.